The silent death of cable TV. Imagine paying over $100 every month for hundreds of channels and still saying, there's nothing to watch. 20 years ago, cable TV ruled America. Families planned their evenings around TV schedules. Missing an episode meant waiting for a rerun. But today, millions of Americans are cutting the cord. Cable companies are losing customers faster than ever, and the industry that once controlled entertainment is slowly disappearing. This is the silent death of cable TV, and the shocking mistake that made it inevitable. When cable was king, the 1990s and early 2000s, cable TV was unstoppable. If you wanted sports, you needed cable. If you wanted movies, you needed cable. If you wanted news, you needed cable. Companies like Comcast, Time Warner Cable, and Cox practically owned the living room. Cable wasn't just popular, it was a monopoly in many neighborhoods. Customers had few choices, prices kept rising, and cable companies kept making billions. At its peak, more than 100 million American households subscribed. The internet changes everything. Then came high-speed internet. Suddenly, people discovered something revolutionary. What if entertainment wasn't tied to a TV schedule? In 2007, Netflix introduced streaming. At first, nobody thought it was a threat. The video quality wasn't perfect, the library was limited, and cable executives weren't worried. Why would anyone abandon hundreds of channels for a small streaming catalog? But consumers loved one thing: freedom. No schedules, no waiting, no commercials every few minutes. Cable, biggest mistake. Here's where cable made a fatal mistake. Instead of adapting, they doubled down on the old model. Prices continued rising, bills became more confusing. Extra fees appeared everywhere. Regional sports fees, broadcast fees, equipment rental fees, taxes, surcharges. Many customers signed up for a package advertised at one price, only to pay much more. Meanwhile, streaming services were offering massive libraries for a fraction of the cost. Consumers started asking a simple question: why am I paying over $100 a month? One by one, households began canceling. This movement became known as cord cutting. At first it was small, then it became a wave, and eventually a tsunami. Millions left cable. The numbers are brutal. The decline wasn't sudden. That's what makes this story fascinating. Cable didn't collapse overnight. It slowly bled customers year after year. A few thousand became a few million. A few million became tens of millions. Entire generations grew up without ever subscribing to traditional cable. For Gen Z, the idea of waiting for a scheduled TV show feels almost ancient. Why wait until 8 p.m. when you can watch anything, anytime, anywhere? Smartphones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming devices completely changed consumer behavior. The audience moved, and cable couldn't stop them. The ironic twist. But here's the twist nobody expected. Streaming is starting to look a lot like cable. Think about it. Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, Max, Paramount+, Peacock, Apple TV+. Many households now pay for multiple subscriptions. And when those costs add up, the monthly bill can start looking surprisingly familiar. The very thing that killed cable, too many services and rising costs, is beginning to appear in streaming. Cable TV didn't die because people stopped loving entertainment. It died because consumers finally had a better option. An industry that dominated American homes for decades ignored a simple truth. When technology gives people more freedom, they rarely go backward. The death of cable wasn't loud. There wasn't a single dramatic moment. No sudden collapse. Just millions of people quietly unplugging one cord at a time. And that's what makes it one of the most fascinating business failures in modern history. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more stories about the biggest rises and falls in business and technology, because sometimes the companies that seem impossible to beat are already losing.